All right, we're live. Welcome to the jungle, everyone. This is a very special live episode. I'm not used to doing things in this style of format on this channel. It's my other channel where I kind of do things like this. But it's a live episode with one of my longest time subscribers, Majestic YT. That's him right here. Welcome to the
Hey,
channel, my man.
hey, y'all, what's up? Majestic
He's
right
come.
here, man. I'm one of the biggest supporters. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to get this podcast started, man. Let's get it.
You gotta love it, man. People like you make me make me feel better about the Cowboys in general.
Yeah, man.
But
Hey, because a lot of us are really nice, man. You just got to get to know us.
yeah. Fair
Yeah.
enough. He's come up with his own power rankings, and I haven't released my power rankings video yet. That's coming out at 5 tonight. But we're you get a bit of a sneak preview here. We're gonna spend some
Yeah.
time talking about both of our different power rankings, and basically, I'm gonna have I've already seen his list, and I've got a couple of things to say about his list because I'm like, there's a couple of teams that I'm just like, what are you thinking? But it's all about having good fun and
Yeah.
everything like that. I'm sure he's gonna
Yeah.
have some questions for me.
I
But
haven't seen your list yet, so we'll see. We'll see.
all right, well, man, this will be new for him. But
Right.
like I said, man, appreciate you coming on. Anything you want to say to the people before we get started?
I would be one of those people to shout out my channel, but I don't need to. I just want to thank you, bro, for having me here, and I just want to
Mhm.
wish you. I just want to really tell you something, bro. Like you motivate me, bro. Ever since I started watching your channel, not for real. Ever since I started watching your channel, I'd say about beginning of last season, like before the Bengals even got good, I was still watching you, but I wasn't commenting because I was like, okay, well they're doing all right. So before that happened, you were motivating me. I was like, this dude, his team isn't doing that good, but he's still out there, like doing his thing on YouTube, doing his NFL podcast, and then y'all team just got really good, made it to the Super Bowl, and you were still consistent with the YouTube uploads. I like that.
Yeah,
And that that
I
that made that made me want to start posting a lot more. I ain't gonna lie, man.
I mean that's really cool. You're I think you're farther ahead than I am. You got about 300 something subscribers, but
That's
I mean
that's
it's
just a
really
little
just
bit.
like I've been doing this like football stuff since I was like 15 years old. So I mean
Yeah,
I'm 30 now. So I mean it's really just like it's really just like this is kind of just what I do. I
yeah.
mean I
This is
haven't been
just,
do- I've
this is
only been
like
doing
your life.
YouTube for a year.
Not to be. This is like your life though. You love football. I get that. I love
Exactly.
football too with the passion. Football is my thing, especially my team, the Cowboys. So
It's fair.
hey,
Are you
Bengals
from
my second
Dallas?
favorite team though. So
Are you from Dallas or the Texas area?
yeah, I'm from the Dallas area, from a
Oh,
little bit outside of Dallas, but right there.
well, there you go. All right. Well,
Yeah.
anyway, guys, like I said, welcome to the stream. Might be doing this more often. Who
Yep.
knows? We'll see. But at least for now, let's get it.
What's been twice stabbed? You try and take my life, but
Yeah, man, that song just gets me hyped every time.
Man, that song is really hype, bro. It gets me every
Uh,
time. I love
you,
when your intro comes on, bro.
yeah, that's I wrote that song when I was 16, actually.
Shut the fuck for real.
Yeah, no, that's my old band Precipice.
Oh
From
crap.
back in the day. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool as heck.
Um,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, that's my old band. That was we
That's
released
really
an
cool, bro.
album, and that was the single that we released for an album. The song's actually just me being angry at my ex, but
Yeah.
it's hype. That's why I play it.
And yeah, it gets you hyped up and shit. I mean, it gets me hyped up. So yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
I
All
like
right,
it.
so let's go ahead and reveal what we're looking at as far as these power rankings. So I'm gonna show yours first.
Okay.
Which so my biggest my biggest bitch here
Yeah. What's
is that
what's what's wrong? What's wrong with it?
you got the Arizona Cardinals in like the top you think the Arizona Cardinals are going to make the playoffs based on your list here? Like what?
Okay, you got to listen to me first. You got to listen. Hear me out. Okay, D Hop will be back soon, and you know how
Fair.
big of an impact D Hop or a wide receiver on a already decent team has on a team and its playoff record or regular season performance. And him coming back, I think. Wait, when is he coming back? This week? Next week? Soon, right? I think it was a 7-game. Was it suspension? 7-game suspension. So he
I think
should be back.
it was 8, wasn't it?
8.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong. You could be right. But yeah, he'll be coming back relatively soon.
And I feel like as soon as he comes back, he will make a huge impact. Like I said, they started 7-0 with him last year, fully healthy. So when he comes back healthy this year, I mean, when they come back this year, TJ Watt's also going to be there. They got my bad, my bad, wrong brother. JJ Watt's going to be there. And that defense is already good. So you gotta. I think Buda Baker, right? Buda Baker's at the Cardinals, yeah. Buda Baker, that defense is strong, so you got to take that into account when you see the Cardinals that high up, because D Hop will be back soon and he's gonna make a pretty good appearance.
That's fair. So the Cardinals started 7-0 last year, but the fact of the matter is that was like they were frauds.
Yeah, it was probably a fluke.
They were frauds. They're like remember when the Steelers started 11-0 like a couple years ago and they were gigantic frauds. That's how I feel about the Cardinals run last year.
Did they get to like the wild card and mess it all up in the wild card? Yeah,
they got absolutely obliterated.
Well, no, not the wild card round though. They made the playoffs, but the wild card round they got demolished. It was crazy.
Yeah. No, the Rams ran right through them.
Yeah, right through them.
It was embarrassing.
Yeah, I remember that one.
So that's basically that's the biggest problem I have. I mean, obviously I don't agree with all of these rankings, but in general, it's just like it's fine. Like, I mean, I don't have the Cowboys that high, but I mean, I understand why I mean, like they're playing really well with Cooper Rush, so it's like
I could see having Kansas City or the Ravens, maybe the Ravens, or maybe the Ravens or the Vikings above us, but the Vikings, they've kept it close with a lot of bad teams, like the Bears recently. Who else? The Lions, I think it was. They kept it close with some teams that defense aren't like, throwing out, and they just kept it close with them. And I don't like that. I don't like to see that. So that's why I got the Vikings and the Ravens defense is. They let their opponents put up a lot of points in.
Okay.
I don't really know how that's going to affect them future wise, because it's pretty much the same thing every year. Like their defense always lets up a lot of points, and it's just an onward trend with them.
That's fair.
But other than that, I can see KC above us, above the Cowboys. So
the
top tier teams, they're all really good. And when Dak gets back for the Cowboys, I feel like he's gonna make a big impact too, to where maybe
he wasn't doing that good before he went out though. So I mean, that's my thing.
True. And last season when he came off of an injury, he lost his first game back. So we never know. And if he comes back versus the Eagles and we lose, I'm not gonna be mad at that, because the Eagles are the best, if not one of the best teams in the NFL right now. Hands down. I got to give them their credit for that.
So I agree with you on like the Bills here, but and I do have the Cowboys pretty far up there. My only thing is I don't quite have them in the top 5. I got them at number 6. So here's my list, and don't kill me. I know you guys beat the Giants.
I'm not tripping.
But I also like I feel like the Giants are better poised right now. Like the Cowboys could. I feel like if Dak does come back and Dak is just like the best version of Dak, then the Cowboys are going to be scary. I have trouble buying into both Cooper Rush and Mike McCarthy, so I'm still kind of like like I obviously they're very good. I've got them in my top 6, but I just like when I think of like, are they Super Bowl contenders? I don't know. But like at the same time, that's kind of how I feel about the Giants too. I just like I trash the Giants constantly all the time, and all they've done is make me look like an idiot. So I kind of have to give them their props.
Okay, I have one question about the Giants. All right. Now, they have, I believe it's 3 key players on their offense out at minimum. This disregarding their offensive line. That's already, I believe, weakened up. Kenny Galladay. And I ain't gonna lie, I forgot the 2 others, but 2 other was like 2 other like targets on their offensive line that they lost due to injuries, or I think it was injuries. And
Kenny Galladay sucks, so like that might be a good thing.
Well, yeah. And then what's the other receiver they won't put in? What's his name?
I don't know.
Can't remember his name, but they won't play. He's really good. He's like elite, and they won't put him in the field. It makes no sense to me, or anybody in the NFL. It makes no sense to us. So, yeah, like I don't know. The Giants, like they're missing a lot of key players, and I don't know how they beat the Packers. To be honest, maybe the Packers are not as good.
You're
as
not talking about Kadarius Toney, are you?
Darius Toney, yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Because he's honestly like he's been kind of a bust. That might be part of their thought process.
I mean, yeah, you could say, yeah, I could see that, because like that's why he hasn't been getting played. You know, like he's getting a lot of shit for it, but that's probably the main reason why he's not getting played.
All right, so I am now looking at the Giants depth chart. I didn't even really realize this because I don't follow the NFC East super closely. But I just now realized why the Giants are, in fact, bona fide Super Bowl contenders is because my boy, Wan'Dale Robinson, is a starting wide receiver for the New York Giants, and I will ride that horse all day. That's that Kentucky boy right there.
Yeah, you gotta get credit where credit's due. I mean, I don't know about Super Bowl caliber, because it's 5 weeks.
They're winning the Super Bowl if Wan'Dale Robinson's playing. I'm telling you that right now.
So that's your prediction, Giants to the Super Bowl.
That's not my honest prediction. No.
Okay.
I'm just going up to bat for my boy.
I was like, is this your final prediction right now? Because
no. I cannot in any way, shape, or form get behind Daniel Jones winning a Super Bowl. It's not.
Yeah, I wouldn't if I were you either. Yeah, no. Okay. Well, you wanna just start from the bottom though?
Okay, so first of all, I don't think we're gonna go through every single team. We don't really have time for that. But I mean, we'll kind of just go through these categories real quick. So I mean, like,
Gotcha.
I think you're underselling just how bad the Steelers are. Like, I mean, like that loss against the Bills was their worst loss since 1989. And the only reason they're not 0-5 right now is because our long snapper got hurt. Like we honestly should have won that game. Like we played well enough to win that. I mean, well, we didn't. Both teams did not deserve to win, but somebody had to.
Yeah, somebody had to take the dub at the end of the day. I mean, yeah, I know the Steelers are bad, but they're going through a quarterback controversy. They don't know, not really a controversy, because like both of them kind of suck, to be honest. Like
I cannot wait for the day where I get to watch Steelers fans debate whether Mitch Trubisky or Kenny Pickett should be the quarterback.
Right. It's no point at this point. Like they both suck like bad. I mean, yeah, you got to give him. Kenny Pickett came out versus the Bills, but it's gonna happen. You either way, you got to at least drop at least one touchdown. You got weapons on your offense. You got.
I mean, that's the thing. He's got those tiny little hands. That's the thing.
Yeah, he do have pretty tiny hands. Honestly, they probably be better off if Big Ben came back. Shit, Big Ben unretired. I mean,
you say that, but the last time he stepped on the football field, I don't think you can come back after the way that he finished his career. Like,
but you got to think about it. They still went 9-8. What was the record on a record? it was they made it to the
Oh yeah,
wild card.
they had a winning record, which is insane. There's no
Yeah,
reason on the planet they should have. But
that's what I'm saying.
that was
There's
the
no way
late
that.
career Ben Roethlisberger Steelers. They always looked better than they were because they just found stupid ways to win games.
Yeah, they
Now they don't
found
have that
stupid
magic
ways.
anymore.
Yeah, yeah, it's
They
true.
honestly they were almost as bad last year as they were this year. The problem is Ben Roethlisberger just kind of like went insane at times and just found
Yeah.
ways to win. But honestly, as far as like overall performance, it wasn't that much different than what we're seeing this year.
Okay, hello. I have a question real quick.
Yeah.
The Patriots. Why are the Patriots in playoff hopefuls?
You also have them in playoff ovals.
Oh, I mean, mine should have been
I only
in playoff
I only
hunt.
have them two
Yeah,
spots.
mine should have been in playoff hunt, but
Well, you didn't give me you just gave me rankings. I'm the one who put it
true,
into
true,
the
true.
thing.
Yeah, if you would have gave me the tier list, I probably would have had it
Yeah.
pretty accurate. But
Yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah.
my only thing with the Patriots is, by the way, I did this. I think it looks like I kind of did this incorrectly here. I'm supposed to have 6 teams in playoff hunt, but I have 6 teams in the bad category, which is not usually the way I do that.
Yeah,
So, oops.
I mean, hey, there's
I
a
guess
lot
the
of bad
Raiders are a
teams.
playoff hunt team.
There's a lot of bad teams in the NFL right now, so you never know.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, as far as the Patriots go, I mean, like, first of all, like I said, if you look at it, we don't really disagree too much as far as like where they're at in the NFL.
Yeah, most of them are pretty accurate.
I'm kind of impressed by like Bailey Zappi being competent. You know, like
Yeah, Bailey
they're-
Zappi, he's honestly gonna bring a quarterback controversy into the Patriots. There's so many quarterback controversies right now. It's ridiculous.
Speaking of quarterback controversies, I have a bit of a question for you. So,
Okay.
you have the Broncos a little ahead of where I have them, not much, but a little ahead of where I have them.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on Russell Wilson? Because on the Battle of Ohio podcast, my co-host Thomas is always talking about how Russell Wilson is obviously completely washed at this point, and
Yeah.
I don't so much think that. I think it's an adjustment thing, and I think he's trying to be somebody he's not, but I don't think it's a washed thing. So, what are your thoughts on him?
My thoughts on Russell Wilson. See, Russell Wilson, he just needs to get rid of the ball faster and get rid of it more often, not just run the ball. And then not only that, like they have a lot of weapons. They have a lot of places they can go on the field, and they're not going those routes all the time. That's why they're not scoring that many points. Like, what was their last game? They scored maybe 15 points, was it, I think? And they just haven't been showing out. And then they let the Colts beat them in an overtime battle where they could have scored a touchdown, if not a field goal, to tie it up. And they choked it in the regular season. So, if people want to put a lot of, hype about the Broncos just because they have a lot of good players and a good defense and all that, I just don't see it. I don't. But like I said, they're a little bit ahead of yours. I think just because you have, because I have the Steelers. Yeah, I have the Steelers and the Raiders. No, you have the Raiders at the same spot almost.
Yeah.
But it's pretty much because the Broncos, I have the Steelers in front of them. Like
You
right
also
now.
you also have you also believe a lot more in the Cardinals than I do. I think
Yeah,
Kyler
you have the
Murray's an
Cardinals
idiot.
way
I
down
think
there. Oh
Cliff
my God.
Kingsbury is in over his head.
Yeah.
That's my whole thoughts on the Cardinals. Like I think they're not set up
Yeah,
for being a good team.
yeah. To be honest, Cliff Kingsbury should be the next Matt Rule. He needs to be fired.
Mhm.
I'm just putting that out there. That needs to be done. If the Cardinals want to be as good, or if they want to be good to ever win their first Super Bowl. So I believe they can. They just need a good team.
Well,
Like
I predicted before the season started that Matt Rule would be the first head coach fired, and that Cliff Kingsbury wouldn't be far behind. So I'm 1 for 2 so far. Let's see if I'm right about Cliff Kingsbury.
And if the Rams, swear to God, if the Rams lose, who are they playing this week? Let me see. The Rams are playing the Panthers.
Yeah.
If the Rams lose to the Panthers, Sean
If the
McVay
Rams
needs
lose to
to
the
get fired.
Panthers, I'm
Like,
taking
straight
them
up.
out of the playoffs entirely.
Right, like you gotta put him in the bad category at that point. There's no way, because it's just like the Jaguars. I brought the Jaguars down a lot. I honestly had a lot of faith in the Jaguars before this game.
Yeah.
I thought the Jaguars were gonna like tear up the Texans, to be honest.
Yeah, well, it is. This is kind of the Jaguars.
Oh, you
The
still
thing
have
about
them
the
in the playoff
Jaguars
picture.
is, I do, because I think they're a very young team, right? The Jaguars are a
Yeah,
young team. They kind of remind me of the Bengals, right? So
true.
it's just like the Jaguars clearly have talent. Losing to the Texans is like a weird fluky thing that young teams do a lot. And the Texans, honestly, they're bad, but I think people act like they're worse than they are. Which it's funny that I say that, because you actually have them a spot ahead of me. But
Great.
in general, I think people are
Shoot, bro.
overly. You have them as fifth worst. I have them as fourth worst.
Yeah.
But
They're
I
not a
also
bad
had them as
team.
like dead last
Yeah,
week.
but I was gonna say I had them last on my power rankings last week too, so that just makes sense. They had to go up from a win. The Commanders lost, the Steelers lost, and the Panthers lost. It just makes sense.
Yeah, let's see who else. So why do you think the Lions are a tank-worthy team?
Okay. Because that defense, just straight up, that defense is not good at all. Just like the Bears' offense, not good at all. Like,
yeah, but their offense has been mostly really good. Like, obviously they were awful against the Patriots, but that's 1 week. So that's why I say, like, I don't think they're tanking, because I think they're building with Dan Campbell. It's just like with the Broncos. Like, as bad as they are, I can't bring myself to put them into a tank time spot, because the Broncos can't be tanking when they just win all in for Russell Wilson. That's like, it's not possible for them to tank.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, and for the Lions' sake, there's no point that they should have scored 0 points after being the top scoring offense before coming into week 5. It makes no sense.
Especially going up against the Patriots defense, which isn't like
Patriots. Yeah, Patriots defense at that. Yeah, they lost their biggest key in the offseason, J.C. Jackson.
Right.
They lost a lot of other key players. It just doesn't make sense.
So was there anybody else I was kind of confused about? Somehow. Oh, wait, no, never mind. I thought I saw the other way around with the Dolphins, but you actually have them a little higher than I do.
I mean, you've
actually got the Browns and Dolphins swapped, which is fair. They're basically the same team right now.
Yeah, I have them swapped.
Like defense that was clearly overrated going into the season, and they're dealing with the backup quarterback because there's a controversial issue surrounding their starting quarterback. So they're basically the same team right now. The only difference is, actually, no, there's not much difference, because I really believe, I personally really believe in Kevin Stefanski as a head coach, and I personally really believe in Mike McDaniel as a head coach. So actually, they're basically the same team.
I believe in Mike McDaniel a little bit more, because he could put a lot more on the field and show a lot more.
I mean,
not like with his players. Like, he can, I don't know. He's just better as a coach.
I don't know, man. I got that. I still have the Browns embarrassing the Steelers in the playoffs stuck in my head.
I could definitely see that.
that was like I'm no Browns fan by any means, but that game, I almost kind of wanted to be a Browns fan after that game. I don't care about Ohio. I claim Kentucky as like my homeland. I've lived in Cincinnati all my life, but my whole family's from Kentucky. Like, I don't really care much about Ohio. Like, I hate the Buckeyes. There's nothing other than like Cincinnati stuff. I don't really. I went to Ohio University, so I like the Bobcats. But other than that,
pretty much.
I don't. I'm not gonna root for Ohio teams just because I live in Ohio. Like screw that. Especially because I'm a Bengals fan, and I like other sports, but my main focus is football. So I base my opinions of teams in other sports based off of the city that they're in, based off of how I feel about their football team. So I don't like the Cleveland Cavaliers. Everybody in my family is like, Cavs, yeah, they're doing well and representing Ohio. I'm like, I don't care. They're from Cleveland.
I don't care. Dang. Dang, man, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
I wish I could say the same about me, my hometown in Texas, and I got family in Florida, so I can't say the same about that. But yeah, man. I got a question real quick.
Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts on the Jets beating the Dolphins? I know the Dolphins, yeah, they have both their starting QBs injured.
So
What did you have
as you
them?
can
Yeah,
as you
you
can
have them
see,
in
I
tank
have
top.
them really low. Okay,
Really?
but here to be clear, I had them as the second worst team in the NFL last week. Like I gave them credit for beating the Dolphins, but the thing is, they beat Skylar Thompson 40-17, and
Yeah.
like I don't know, like the Dolphins are kind of like falling apart at the seams right now. Like I mean, I like credit on the Jets, and I think the Jets are in the right direction. I almost like
Yeah.
now that I kind of think about, I've already made the video and I've already said what my power rankings are, so I'm just sticking with it this week. But now
Yeah.
that you mentioned it, I'm like, I don't know, maybe I should have put the Jets higher, honestly.
A lot higher, to be honest. Like for a 3-2 team, a team above 0.500 to be in tank time, no matter what teams they play, 3-2 is a lot better than 1-4,
Yeah.
which is at
No,
least
you're
two
right, but
1-4 teams. Right?
I still think they're I don't see them from like a power. So okay, so like here's an example. You've got you've got the Buccaneers a lot lower than I have the Buccaneers, right? And the
Yeah.
reason I have the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl caliber category is because these are power rankings, right? The whole point of power rankings is ranking their power. And if Tom Brady has one power, it's the fact that he can make the refs do whatever he wants them to make them do. And
True.
it's very difficult to play against a team that has that kind of power. So, I mean, until proven otherwise, if the Buccaneers keep winning, I don't care that it was close with the Falcons. Like, you saw that roughing the passer hit on
Yeah,
them.
that wasn't a roughing the passer, but yeah, we'll
Exactly, but
skip
stuff
that
like
real
that
quick.
happens to Tom Brady. And
Yeah.
so that's kind of my point with like the Jets. It's like, like stuff just the Jets are not. I don't know where their power is right now with the Jets. Like, I mean, they're good, they're winning
good,
games,
yeah.
but like the Dolphins, okay, they were playing against a third string quarterback, and I mean, I know it was mainly like a really good offensive performance by them, and their offense has been good. They came roaring back against the Browns.
Isn't Tyreek Hill injured? I believe.
Is
I
Tyreek Hill
heard
in?
something. I heard something after the game. He's like, I think it's like a slight injury. He's like questionable for the next game or something. That's
I don't know,
gonna
but
be big.
he led the Dolphins in receptions and yards.
I believe he's
In
leading the
that game.
NFL right now in reception yards, right? Unless Cooper Kupp
Something
or
like that.
somebody came up. I
I'm
don't know.
sure it's probably Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, because he was already up by like 80 yards coming into this game. So,
Mm-hmm.
as all he had to do was cop like 50 yards and he would have been good. Like, but yeah, I don't know if he's injured or not. I don't know.
I will admit with the Jets, like I will admit, I probably should have put them higher. I will take that into serious consideration next week because now that you pointed out, I'm like, yeah, they're better. They're better than the Broncos. They're better than the Cardinals. They're better than the Lions. They're better than all those teams. Like honestly, they're a playoff hunt team at the very least.
I would
Like,
say I wouldn't say they're
all
better
those
than
teams
the
in the bad category.
Cardinals because the Cardinals are pretty good, but
Yeah,
they're
no, the Cardinals are not good.
I mean, in
But
my
only thing with the
perspective, I see the
Jets-
Cardinals as being a strong playoff contender here in the next 2 months.
2 years
So
maybe. But so here's my thing. My only thing that's kind of holding me back a little bit with the Jets, the teams that you've beat so far, you've beat the crap out of the Miami Dolphins, who have a practice squad quarterback. You beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, who, as you can tell, are like my second worst team in the NFL.
Yeah, one of the worst.
And then you like lost decisively to a Cincinnati Bengals team that is not, like we nearly hit the 30-point mark, and our offense has not been like that this year. You got destroyed by the Ravens week 1, and then week 2 you had to have a massive comeback against the Jacoby Brissett-led Browns. So I'm just like I admit the Jets should be higher based off of what they've done.
The Browns are
that's
pretty
probably
good,
just me being biased there because of like past tense and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're quite like playoff hopefuls yet. Like I think they're still
Yeah.
building.
But on paper, they're well deserving of being at least a playoff hunt spot. You know.
Yeah, that's
Um.
fair.
Yeah. I could put them since they beat the Dolphins out. If on your list for your list, I'd put them right above the Dolphins. That'd probably be what I'd do.
Yeah, yeah, probably. Maybe even above the Browns since they beat the Browns too. But then again, it was kind of
Yeah.
like it was almost kind of like a fluky win because I mean, me and Thomas talked about it on the Battle of Ohio podcast when it happened. It's like like
I think the Browns should have won that.
I think the Browns beat themselves in that game because like the reason a big reason they lost is because Jacoby Brissett did the thing that Jacoby Brissett seems to do all the time, which is throw last second interceptions. If it
Yeah.
hadn't been for that,
Yeah,
then the
he's
Browns
bad
would
for
have
that.
put
Yeah,
the
he's
Jets
really
away.
bad for that. I think I was watching like one quarter of the game. Like I just turned the game on. It was like the second or third quarter, and I seen him throw a pick. It was like the I forgot who they were playing. It was like 2 weeks ago. I think it was it wasn't the Jets, no. But I was like, dang, like literally I just turned the TV on and that's the first thing I saw. Like, and I from then I was like, yeah, I don't like Jacoby Brissett and he's not gonna be good. It's like it's obvious, it's clear to see.
You know what? I think I changed my mind here. I did already record the episode.
Yeah.
Of the thing, but I didn't put any of the overlays for the power rankings in, so I think I am going to go ahead and change it. You've convinced me. The Jets deserve to be in the playoff hunt category, and I'm going to put them there.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't think I mentioned
the playoff hunt. They can
I
at
don't
least
think when
go
I
above the
recorded
Falcons.
I said anything about the Jets, so I think I can change it.
Okay. And the Bears,
I'm
honestly, I'll trade them with the Bears. The Bears haven't shown that much this season. The Jets have shown a little bit more this season, so I'd probably trade them with the Jets if I were you. That'd probably be.
So what I'm doing is I'm putting them ahead of the Browns, behind the Saints, and then I'm just kind of like moving everybody else down. So,
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a good spot for him.
Then I think I'm gonna swap the Broncos and the Cardinals too.
Yeah. All right. Well, you trying to get into some teams that actually matter now? All right, let's get into the top 10 or something. Top 12 or.
Well, we did get into it a little bit. We can get into a little bit more.
Yeah, I would say a little bit more because we've been down at the
bad.
bad side for a while. You know, a little bit more to the good teams.
Yeah. So I only probably got about like 10 more minutes here, but we can we can definitely kind of talk about this a little bit. So I mean, we talked about like I think we talked about the Giants, we talked about the Cowboys and kind of like where we have them placed and everything like that. Talked a little bit about the Chiefs, talked about the Buccaneers.
Do we both have the Bills at number one?
We do have. Well, of course, the Bills are insane. Like,
we got the same number 1 and 2, I think, right?
Yeah.
Wait, what's your number 2? Like, no, you have KC above them. Okay.
And part of my reasoning with that is that I had the Bills at number 1 even after they lost to the Dolphins. Because here's my reasoning for the Bills. Even though they don't have the best record, I think they're the best team right now. Because that game against the Dolphins, I think like 85 out of 100 times the Bills win that game. It just happened to be one of those 15 other times that they ran out of time at the end of the game. But like Josh Allen basically did enough to like give the Bills the win in that game. It's just like the guy he threw
if he would have spiked it, it would have been game over. Bills
right. Like I mean, like the Bills had that in like the palm of their hands. And
they'd still be undefeated right now if they would have spiked that ball. So
now, I mean, that is on them for losing that, but at the same time, just like the whole point is like do I think that the Bills will lose to the Dolphins next time they play them? I absolutely don't.
Probably not.
They'll kick their ass.
Yeah,
they're playing. Yeah. I believe they're actually playing the Chiefs this week.
They are.
So that's gonna be a fun matchup.
Yeah, that's gonna be a really fun matchup. They're like rivals, aren't they? KC always beats them in the playoffs. Bills, I believe, always beat them in the regular season. So it's just how it works.
That's a 425 game. So I might stream that game just because I'm really excited to see what happens there. It kind of I generally don't stream 4:25 games because I usually stream like the 1 p.m. games, and then
Yeah.
like I kind of like having a break to eat some lunch or something like that.
But like,
But that's a
why not?
really good game.
I'm gonna say, why not record it? Like, you have to at that point. And it's on a
Yeah,
Sunday, right? It's on Sunday, I believe.
it is. It is.
Yeah. Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
I'm off that day, so hey, I'm watching that game. I don't even
Yeah,
like, if my Cowboys are playing at the same time, I'm switching the channel. I'm watching both games. Or,
I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I got to give respect where it's due. The Cowboys might be just as compelling, honestly, to watch right now. They're a pretty. They are. I did not expect them to be this good, especially with a backup quarterback. But
yeah,
then again, you know, I have no right to say anything about backup quarterbacks because my team never beats them.
right. Hey, that's a good point. That's a good point. And our backup quarterback just so happens to be the first ever undrafted quarterback to go 5-0. Cooper Rush, baby, let's go. But see, the thing with the Cowboys is their defense. Obviously, everybody knows that their defense is like top tier dominant. Like, 49ers, Bills, Cowboys,
Mm-hmm.
3 top defenses in the league. There could be some other teams, thrown in there, but yeah, they got a really good defense, so that's what makes them stand out. And they came into LA at LA and just destroyed them from the very beginning. There was only a 1-point lead by the Rams the entire game, and then after that, and it was only for a solid 3 or 4 minutes until the Cowboys rushed all the way down the yard, all the way down the field, and Tony Pollard got like about a 60-70 yard run. So.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Cowboys pretty much dominated that game. The Rams didn't get to score since I believe the second quarter, like 10 minutes in the second quarter. It's a really good game. I'm glad I watched it. I'm glad my team was playing and glad my team won that, But enough on that. I'm also glad that the top 4 teams are about to play each other this week.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be fun.
That's going to be really fun. So 2 of the best games of the week, they gave the Cowboys and Eagles the game of the week, which honestly, as a Cowboys fan, doesn't make sense to me because the Bills and Chiefs are clearly should be the best team of the game of the week,
It's supposed to be an AFC Championship preview. I mean, we all know that my Bengals are going to be back,
Yeah, we all know that, obviously. Yeah, no.
Probably, I mean that's clearly that's a true fact.
We hope so. We really hope so. I hope so.
I mean, I hope so too. I mean, like we got out to the same start last year. Like the only difference is that we beat the Vikings last year, but we beat the Vikings with like Dalvin Cook fumbled, but it was a really controversial fumble. And then but they were in position to win that game with the field goal until the miracle fumble happened. So basically the exact same start last year is the start we're having this year. Now the only way we made it to the Super Bowl was by just getting crazy hot out of nowhere. And it also helped that we didn't play any division games in the first 5 weeks last year. But I will say the first 5 weeks of last year were a bit of a slog. So it's not like the Bengals are clearly worse off than they were last year. It kind of feels like they're the same that they were last year, honestly.
Yeah, I mean they had a slow start last year. They went 0-2 and went to the Super Bowl. So you can't really judge a book by its cover, So I feel like y'all still have the Bengals as a whole, they have a really good chance of making the playoffs still. Super Bowl is the thing,
Before we, because we're about 40 minutes into this, so before we hop off, the last team that I want to touch on, just because this is a Bengals channel. I cover the whole NFL, but this is a Bengals channel, and we do not severely, but we do slightly disagree on the Bengals. So I mean, you're always commenting on my videos, telling me how the Bengals, they're still a top 10 team. This still a top 10 team.
Yep,
for the most part, I've agreed with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you at the last second you put them. You had
no, it's because I meant to have them at my 10, and I just forgot. Last second I had to remember. But
so for me, I have both of the Super Bowl teams from last year experiencing hangovers in the 11 and 12 spot, and so for me, I do think that the reason I still have the Bengals listed among all these teams, even though I don't even know if they would make the playoffs if the playoffs started today. But I have to look into that. But the reason I still have them up there is because they're extremely talented. That defense, while I have a lot of concerns that I have voiced quite a bit on this channel, the defense is still really talented and still does get plenty of stuff done. And then like the offense has a ton of talent. When they get going, they're impossible to stop. They're just they're it's so hard for them to get going, and I don't understand why. But when they get going, they'll be difficult to stop. So it's just like I still think the Bengals, like, you know, for like in a 1-for-1 matchup, I think they beat the Titans. I think they beat the Patriots. I think they beat the Jaguars. I think they beat the Chargers. I think they'd beat all those teams. They beat the Steelers if they had another shot at them.
I definitely think that would beat a lot of those teams, especially the Chargers and the Patriots, because Chargers are banged up. The Patriots, you know, as we said, we already mentioned about them. They're not really that good, and they just beat a team that has pretty much no defense.
Right.
You know, so yeah, I feel what you're talking about right there, and I feel like as long as Joe Mixon and Jamar Chase can step up, because I feel like Joe Burrow's doing his thing.
Well,
so
and that's the thing. Like Joe Mixon did step up this week. It's just
he did. I didn't watch
Joe
the game.
Burrow
I
actually
didn't
took
watch
a
all
step
of it.
back.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
So the way that game worked is Joe Mixon actually, he averaged like 5.8 yards per carry. Joe Mixon had a good game.
Yeah,
the running game
was
actually did
impressive.
sort of get going. The problem was that Joe Burrow was really inefficient throwing the ball. And like, I mean, he wasn't really super on point. He wasn't making a lot of great decisions. He had this one interception that he threw to Patrick Queen that was just a completely idiotic decision. Like, you know, Jamar Chase is out there. Not only is he triple covered, but like one of the coverages is Patrick Queen. He's literally camping on that exact spot of the route because he knows that Joe Burrow's going to throw it right there. Joe Burrow just doesn't even freaking see him. Like, and it's like I think part of it.
Wasn't Higgins out of that game?
Higgins was out, so that's part of why they took. But I mean, you still got Hayden Hurst, you still got Tyler Boyd, you still got Joe Mixon, you still got Jamar Chase. Like, he should be able to put together a pretty solid offense. But I think Joe Burrow is still, like, even though the offensive line is playing better, I think Joe Burrow is still kind of like expecting the like things to not go quite as well. So I think he's still like he needs to slow down in his brain. I think he's panicking a little bit right now, which can be fixed. But the problem is he's panicking right now because I think he's still expecting the offensive line to be really bad, and he needs to make a really quick decision. And the fact of the matter is he's got time. He doesn't need to. He doesn't need to predetermine his route.
The O line is underrated. I'll give him that though. And they let the hype, not the hype, they let the hate get to him because, like, obviously the whole everybody in the NFL, not everybody, but for the most part, everybody will talk crap about the Bengals O-line, how bad it is and all that. And it's not that bad. If you look at it, like, if you look in depth, it's not that bad, especially y'all secondary. Like, it's good. You know, like, y'all have a really good O-line. It's underrated. Y'all don't give enough credit for that.
It was really bad.
It was better.
It
was better, though.
From like 20. Well, yeah, it's better this year. But like from 2017 to 2021, the Bengals offensive line was an absolute disaster. Yeah. So the fact that people still kind of like every time we have a bad game, people are like, oh, clearly the Bengals haven't improved on O-line. And it's like, well, they have. They've got a lot. It's like my whole point with Russell Wilson, right? Like the Bengals have a lot of new pieces on offensive line. They got a lot of talent, but like that talent needs time to gel together and get going. And they didn't even play at all together in the preseason. Like I don't know if any of the I don't think any of the offensive linemen got any reps in the preseason. Not the starting ones anyway, except for Cordell Volson. But it's just like it's just like, you know, like they have the potential to be a good unit, and I think they'll get there, and they're starting to get there. They were really good in pass protection this week. Run blocking, not so much, but it's okay because like they still average like 5.7 yards per carry. I mean, like, you know, it worked out. So
they did what they had to do.
And the Ravens are known for being a team that, like, you know, every single year they always have a good pass rush. So the fact that they were able to, like, you know, hold up pretty. I mean, there were some bad things like Lyle Collins missing that blocking assignment on the 4th down. I mean, there were a couple pressures that were completely unnecessary. But I mean, like, for the most part, They held their ground. They're showing that they're getting better. And if Joe Burrow can, I mean, quite honestly, right now the biggest problem, at least from what I saw in that Ravens game, the biggest problem is that Joe Burrow seems to have his head up his ass.
I mean, y'all held the Ravens to 19 points. That's their lowest scoring game of the year, possibly of last year too, because they scored a lot of points every game last year too. So like,
and that's great.
Y'all defense did their part. That's
that's
them their
great.
credit.
But the defense also got kind of lucky because Lamar Jackson had some really bad overthrows in that game. Yeah. And also when push came to shove on the final drive of the play, they just let him walk all over them. So it's just like I keep arguing with Bengals fans about this on Twitter. It's like, the offensive line or not the offense. Everybody's like, oh, the defense, they're like amazing. If only the offense could be as good as them. It's just like they're good for sure, but like, are they really like people act like they're an elite unit, and it's like they're really good at stopping teams from getting touchdowns. I will give them that. Yeah. Their superpower is they don't let touchdowns happen.
True, I'll give them that.
Most of the time. Although, like when they do let touchdowns happen, it's like a big busted coverage play. But like typically in the red zone, I don't know what the stats are. I'm interested to see what the stats are. But like in the red zone, they don't really let touchdowns happen. So that is their superpower. They will like no matter how tired they are, they will probably take you all the way down to a field goal at the very least, and give the offense.
Yeah, their red zone coverage is perfect.
Right. If the offense was better, this team would be like basically unbeatable because the defense is designed, at least it seems, the defense is designed to like withstand slow starts by the offense and then just give the offense a chance to get going. The problem is the offense isn't getting going. But the other problem with that is, like the defense does not seem to be built to at the very end of games, like when it's super close at the very end and you need a big stop to get the win, they don't seem to be capable of getting that big stop.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like they can stop in the red zone, but when it comes to stopping a team from like, getting a field goal, getting down to the field goal range, it's like it gets hard right there. But in the red zone, their coverage is good. They're getting sacks and stuff is, it doesn't make sense. They have to play it makes sense. Like y'all are really good all around, like as a team, but defensive wise, y'all need to stop, like, especially around the 50-yard line to, the goal line. You need to protect that whole side of the field, and not just the 20-yard line, the red zone, not just the red zone. You got to protect the whole half of the field. And I think that's why a lot of the field goals are being made by the other teams, because it's just like they don't know what else to do but score field goals, like versus a team that can only stop in red zone. They have to get better in the red zone. I mean, in the rest of the field. So
yeah, no, it's a problem, but
it's all about power play.
We're a little over 45 minutes into this now, though. So I think that's probably as good. We hit on both of our teams. We hit on both sides of the power rankings. If y'all want like a full breakdown of how I feel about like the top 14 teams, I'm releasing a video later today. And then like I said, go check out Majestic YT's channel and basically everything he does. He's good. He's a real good supporter of this channel. Go throw him some love. That'd be real cool. But that's pretty much all I got for today, though. So y'all can always find more of what I do at Kyle Phelps 92 on Twitter, Facebook.com/ThePhelps, ATBnetwork.com, the Battle of Ohio podcast, which is on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, and right here if you subscribe. And go, where are all the places they can find you?
You can check out my Discord. I guess it'll be in the description, or add me up on YouTube. Subscribe to me on YouTube. My bad. Yeah. Thinking about Discord. Add me up on Discord. Subscribe to me on YouTube. My fault. Mm-hmm. Other than that, that's all I have to say. I appreciate y'all.
All right. Well, appreciate you coming on. Have to have you on again sometime because
for sure, man. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So I'll leave y'all as always with a hoo-day.
Hoo-day.